qualified as a massage therapist, my mum said, "That's fine, don't just tell your granny." So I wish somebody had told me that massage is not a dirty secret. It's like this amazing profession that you can do anything you want with. So.
The Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show, brought to you by Massage Warehouse.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is episode 4 of the Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show. We are here today with special guests tucked away at Jing HQ. My name is Derek. I'm going to be talking today with Meg and Rachel. Welcome, Meg and Rachel.
Hi. Thanks, Derek. So good to see you. I hope you're enjoying the Massage Warehouse talk show.
Series, absolutely.
Exactly. Super good.
And we have just been having a moment around introducing ourselves, and it is our Jing's 20th anniversary this year. And one of the things that Rachel and I were just talking about, that we have said these 3 lines about 2,500 times. So, hi, I'm Megan.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And we're the directors of Jing Advanced Massage and Training, the Jing Institute of Complementary Medicine down in sunny, normally Brighton.
Not sunny now.
And we are really excited to be able to offer or share what is this great process around our experience. And so Derek is going to facilitate some questions.
You can ask us questions.
To keep me and Rachel from just talking endless. And as you all know, we have an extraordinary amount of passion for massage therapy and for massage education. So hopefully we can offer you some tidbits about all that fits. But anyway,
well, we want
to interview it.
Anyway,
yeah, we have got a special topic. We've got to stay on topic at some point.
Stay on topic, that's hard for us.
The topic that we're going to be talking about is what I wish I knew before I started my massage therapy.
Okay.
But you want to tell us a little bit more about what's been going on for you guys recently? I know you've both come back from New York, haven't you?
We have both come back from New York. Yeah, that's super true.
What was going on?
What's going on in New York? We had a holiday. Actually had a holiday in New York, and then we've come back and we're teaching in Jing, a beginners course.
Yeah, and the trip that we had in New York was quite a walk down memory lane. So Rachel and I met there, and we started our collective, and for me, a serious, I mean, we both had massage practices before we met in New York, but it was a real next stage of our 2 different journeys. So being in New York is, of course, New York. But also for us, it's the heart and center of Jing. Yeah. It's like Jing's hometown as well, because that's where we
started, really.
And where we found our collective passion and engagement with all the things that we offer students worldwide now around becoming serious massage therapists who also have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a little bit of New York flavour, you think, in Brighton?
Yeah,
Jing?
we do our best.
Definitely. We do our best. Meg brings some New York flavour.
And maybe that's something we can talk about today then, in terms of, you know, you've got 2 angles on this story, haven't you? In terms of what sort of advice you wish you knew as massage therapists, and you might have different ideas there too. But also, what sort of advice did you wish you had before you started embarking on running a training school? So where do you want to start?
Well, it was interesting. So when we got the bump through about the show, and it was like, what you wish you knew before you started massage, and I think the first thing that came to my mind, I don't know what it came to you, is like, I wish somebody would tell me how amazing it is. Like, so that's the biggest thing for me. I've always worked with people. I was a social worker for years. And I think, you know, for me, massage was something it didn't, you know, you often say this as well, it didn't seem like a real career, you know, it seemed like something that, you know, if you were smart, you went to university, that wasn't something you'd want to do as a career, it wasn't sort of like a proper career. And I only really started doing massage as a sideline in the early 90s when I was working as a social worker. But it you know, without a doubt, like learning massage, teaching massage, the intellectual side of massage, as you know, we write a lot of articles at Jing, you know, we've written a book, you know, I'm really into the research, you know, all around that. And, you know, massage has given me everything I could, I mean, it still makes me teary, like thinking about it. Like massage has given me everything I could ever have wanted, you know, in terms of intellectually, emotionally, you know, community and sort of like business wise. And nobody told me that, you know, it was like, you know, when I qualified as a massage therapist, my mum said, that's fine, don't just tell your granny. So I wish somebody had told me that massage is not a dirty dirty secret. It's like this amazing profession that you can do anything you want with. So that is the big thing.
Yeah, and mine is along the same lines.
Yeah.
I think Derek just asked me before we started that question. And I think what I feel is I wish that somebody had said to me that anything and everything is possible with massage.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. And also I think it's about the community aspect and that it's not limited in any way, that you can do whatever you can dream of with massage around the idea of complementary healthcare.
Mhm.
And I think that in so many professions that are not traditional, that do not have a traditional trajectory, there is a lot of no, you can't, or this has to stop there, or you need to ask permission before you do this. And I really wish that I had a mentor who was just a couple of steps ahead, who said, well, just try it. Just because we got there eventually, we found each other. And that was the gift, that we found each other to be able to say, have a go, like, or if you try it a whole, you know, if you fall, I'm there to catch you. But I think in the beginning we were quite, we were a bit more cautious, or we were working harder to please other people.
Yeah, that's true.
And letting a little bit go of what we thought what we knew we really wanted and we thought wasn't possible. So I think, and we try so much to do this with Jing, that Jing is not only a school where people can come to learn, but it's a place to get real community and mentorship. And that everybody, and there are thousands, you know, 15,000 now that have gone through Jing, that it breeds a space that if you get lost or you want to try something, that there's somebody to say, I did it and it worked, or I did it and I would have done it a little bit differently. So I think we wish we'd had that a little sooner, but
we basically wish we'd had Jing.
we wish we had something.
Okay, give us something a little bit more specific on it. So were there suggestions, were there ideas, input, advice that you were given, you can be really specific about, that you actually wanted to avoid, or you know, wish you got sooner?
As a massage therapist,
I think the contraindications.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a big that is a big thing. So I first trained in the UK back in the early 90s, and I do think a lot of the beginners courses now are better, but there are still inadequacies in some of the courses. But I think one of the big myths that sort of like still gets taught on a lot of qualifying courses is there's a lot of massive emphasis on a list of contraindications, which is A, very out of date, B, not research driven, and C, is not taught anywhere else in the world. So I came out of my initial course like with feeling terrified of touching lots of people, with some very old-fashioned list, which I think is still on some you know syllabuses. And when I went to the States to requalify, so in the States it's a 2-year degree level course, you know, I found out the contraindications are not taught. There's a much higher level of massage therapy training like we've pioneered here at Jing in the UK. I found out a lot of those contraindications are not taught as contraindications, they're more taught as things to be aware of, red flags. And then further research, and we talk about it in the book, is that actually a lot of those contraindications are just based on misinformation that's like really old, you know. So a big one is cancer. You know, a lot of people are really terrified of touching people with cancer. Massaging cancer has been going on for years, and there's a lot of really good research evidence around the use of cancer. If you know what you're doing, you know, it's perfectly fine. And again, I think the word is getting out more now. But again, there's no reason you can't touch people with herniated discs or varicose veins or, you know, any of the other things. So I think that instills a lot of fear into people, and I know a lot of people come to Jing who've been on other qualifying courses and they're terrified of touching people. And you can modify your techniques. There's lots of other things you can do, you know, as long as you're an informed massage therapist and you're able to keep your clients safe. So that's quite a big thing for me.
So yes, I think that's,
you concur.
I do. I feel like the element of fear, and that we felt more supported around being able to work with people with more complex healthcare issues. And we did it because we found individuals who really felt that traditional medicine wasn't supporting them, and could see a light in Rachel and I individually before Jing existed, to say, I think you can help me, even if we didn't believe in it ourselves. And then when we did it, we recognized we could. And that has to do also with a relationship with the other individual who wants to participate in their healthcare. So I think that kind of, is a big part of our evolution.
Brilliant. And what about advice with regards to starting a massage school and taking that next step?
A massage school, maybe we should talk about massage business.
Business.
Because I think that's probably what you guys want to hear, right?
I mean, business. Please open a massage school. I mean, if anybody wants to do it, we would love there to be more massage schools that are great. I want to be really clear about that, actually. A lot of people come to us from business models and say, who's your competition? And we often say the answer is no one is our competition, because there's no competition. If lots of people are really well educated, then massage as a modality will be understood by the general public as a good choice around healthcare. So there's no competition, and also there aren't a lot of massage schools out there, and certainly not anything with the same reach as Jing. So if you do want to start a massage school, but anyway, we assume you are starting your massage practice or developing your massage practice. So I think that there's some key elements. We've done a couple of Jing TVs around that, but the first thing I think is to set your own books. So what often happens, people are starting a massage practice from like another job, like say they work 9 to 5 or part-time, Monday to Thursday. And then people start to think, well, I've got a friend Joe, and I've got a friend Sunar, and I've got a friend, whatever, and they all want a massage, and I'm just going to ask them when they want to come. And then your life is crazy because you're trying to put all these people in, and you're trying to work it around the other job. So the first thing is to set the books. And for us both, it worked great working weekends. So,
Is that what you mean by set the book? Sort of set your stall up, so this is when I'm going to be working.
Exactly.
This is what I want to do, rather than responding to everybody's individual.
Being really clear, this is my massage time. You should also have time where you're working on your marketing and promoting your business, which we'll probably talk about separately. But you're in control of it. You're not doing this higgledy-piggledy, scattery, random.
So that means a real firm statement of saying, on a Saturday, I offer 9 o'clock, at 10:30, and 11:45. Which one works for you?
So when you started out, when did you work? You were doing it alongside another job, right?
Yeah, I always did it alongside another job until I didn't. So exactly that. So I worked alternating Saturdays and Sundays. I love a morning.
Alternating? What, Saturday one week, Sunday the next?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So did you start out setting what you were going to do, or did you learned that gradually, and that was something
okay, good question. No, I didn't know that, but I was in California, and massage therapy is a little bit different in the sense that because the education is higher, people come out with a different kind of trajectory. And so I was able to, I rented a space quite quickly, working with an acupuncturist and a physical therapist in some capacity, 27 years ago. And they had time. And I rented the time, and I made the time that I rented profitable. And that is another thing. And Rachel this is really true. So I had 3 shifts a week. I had 2 evening shifts, an alternative Saturday or Sunday. So that opened it up to people who could be there Saturday or Sunday. And I worked a women's career development agency during the day. And then I would have my shift from, like, say 6 to 9 or 5 to 9. And if I had no clients, I still went to the space.
Yeah, that's really important, isn't it?
So I still went and sat in my dark clinic room with no one. And at that time, we had these things called yellow phone books.
Like
and I used to sit in the
before the internet.
and I used to sit in the corner, and I would open the yellow pages to the local community, and I get on the phone and say, "Hi, my name is Megan. I've just opened a massage practice on the corner of
wherever you were."
I was in the Mission in
San
Francisco. And just say, "I'm here. Just want to let you know I'm here," and that was it. And so it was the lightest bit of marketing, but I always feel the energy beget the energy.
Yeah, definitely.
And
we've really found that.
And I work on a Tuesday and a Thursday and alternate Saturday, Sundays. And so I had that, and I always had that. And Rachel and I both worked both in our houses and renting spaces. I do think that renting a space is better.
So you were working full-time or part-time with the career development agency? Because this is going to be a lot of people's experiences out there, aren't they? They're working full-time or part-time, and they want to know how to transition.
I mean, I was working full time and I was 22 with no other commitments, and I was living a life in San Francisco. So I was probably working San Francisco full time, which is like 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know, opposed to our 57 hours a
I think
week.
that's Brighton full time, isn't it?
Anyway, we work hard, just want to say.
Yeah. Because I was working full time as a social worker when I first qualified, and I used to do, well, same as you, 2 evenings a week. So I'd do a 9 to 5, then I'd go home, and then I'd have a 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. So I'd have 3 clients on a Monday, 3 clients on a Tuesday. Obviously, I had to build up to that. They didn't appear out of nowhere. And then I also used to do a Saturday morning, and I liked a Saturday morning. You get up 9, 10, 11,
Cash
by
your
12,
pocket.
3 clients, and then you got the rest of the day. It's really nice.
And we didn't have online booking then. We just
did
had
not have
cash,
online booking.
which was great.
What about, I think that brings up something interesting. A lot
Yeah.
of our students talk to us about the sort of the time, how much time it takes to actually deliver an hour
Okay.
massage.
Yes.
Is there anything there that you learned? Because you just said
Yes.
9, 10, 11. I mean, that's quite an art, isn't it?
Yes.
To get your 3 clients in and be out.
Yes.
What did you learn in terms of managing that part? of it?
Managing
getting
time.
them in time and finishing the treatment on
I
time.
have to say, my massage practice has been the most highly successful piece of time management of my life. The rest of it is like still in progress. There's a learning curve, but our massage practices were really good. So I think, and I learned this through experience, so that when I first started, what is it? This Parkinson's law, or what is it? The sort of like the test expands to fill the time available.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just call that shaving foam. But...
Yeah. Yeah, the same thing. So when I first started, I'd do so what we say in Jing is the first time you see a client, you want to see them for an hour and a half, and that's 20 minutes to half an hour consultation, 50 minutes on the table, 10 minutes pay-in, taking clothes on and off, blah blah blah. Right, thereafter Meg and I work on the clinical hour, which is 50 minutes on the table, 10 minutes quick consult at the beginning, you know, catching up, and you know, close on and off, paying you, blah blah blah. So we book clients, you know, every hour on the hour, and that is definitely a skill you have to work up to.
Yeah.
And what I realized when I first started was I'd be seeing clients for 50 minutes or an hour, but then I'd leave half an hour in between. So for 2 clients, it would take me 3 hours, whereas actually now I see 3 clients in an hour. I just did a Zoom on this.
3 hours.
3 hours. Which, you know, actually if you add that up over a week, over a year, is a substantial kind of loss of income and kind of loss of your time. So what I realized, if I had the half an hour in between, I wasn't doing anything useful. I mean, I didn't have a mobile phone then to doom scroll, but you know, I'd overrun with the client, which is not good anyway for therapeutic boundaries. I'd sort of mess around, you know, it wasn't useful time.
Like you said,
So
quietly meditated. And
I didn't do that. No.
What was it
29.
that happened then to shift that thinking? What was it that made you better at that?
I think it is a very good question. So I think realizing that I wasn't doing myself any favors by doing that, and also because I was working full time, you know, realizing that I could get 3 clients in an evening. If it
Would you say math?
Maths helps. We're really good
We
at.
love a bit of
But
math.
actually, the biggest was when we worked at the spa.
Which worked for me.
When I worked,
The discipline that comes
discipline, yeah, and working in a spa in New York. So very briefly, I went to massage school in the States. After I qualified from massage school, in order for my visa, I had to be supervised by somebody. You can only do that in the spa industry, so which I sort of thought I was above, but I had to go and find a job in a spa. I found a job in a great spa called Stone Spa. The manager there was Meg Murray, so Meg was my manager, right?
And supervisor.
And supervisor.
And she said, "You will get them in, you will get them out."
Yeah. So that also was really good discipline. I have to say, I know that some of you work out there in spas, and there's some great spas, particularly ones owned by massage therapists themselves. But I would say generally that the level of pay in spas in the UK is very poor compared to New York. In New York, we were getting a salary, plus we were getting like $30-40 tips, sort of like every
As a side, I just want to say, I
Yeah.
know this isn't topic, but somebody just asked us, you know, because a couple of weeks ago was like why massage education matters, and we were doing a bunch of stuff. And massage therapists in New York go to school for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, full degree. Do you know the average cost of a massage in New York? Anyone?
You know?
So 100 to 175, an hour, 50 minutes.
It's
And
more than that now, isn't it?
it's 175. When I went to the
That's
spa last
20 years
week.
ago.
Not last week. It's
Oh, last week.
175
Yeah.
plus. Now they've got tip 30 to 40% in tip.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
so you pay the 175 to 200
So that goes
for the
straight to the
50
therapist.
minutes, and
Yeah.
they probably are getting 50% of that,
yeah.
and then a $30 or $40 tip on top. And that is because there is a level of education. It
Yeah,
isn't
it's
so
much more valued.
it's much more valued
Whereas over here, you're likely to be getting minimum wage and not a tip because
and not a tip,
Brits.
but you might be charged.
Rubbish. We used to hate it in the spa when the Brits came in. So we're like, I'm not having them. They're not going to be tipping me. And
Can we talk about that? Because you're making me think a lot about some of the things we talk about here
Mm.
at Jing, which is this idea of maybe that's kind of why the time creeps, is that people sort of feel like they've got to offer extra because what they're
Absolutely.
doing isn't quite good
You're
enough,
so
or
right.
aren't quite seeing themselves as
That's
somehow
so right.
professional enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so we overcompensate by
Absolutely.
spending a bit of time chatting, being a bit fluffier than we need to be.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
this is really key for us around the Jing method, that we really offer this idea that you're working over a longer period around a more complex chronic condition. So where massage therapists often get lost is in trying to be a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
So this feeling of feeling inadequate and saying, I've got this one chance to show this person I've got everything. And as Rachel said too, professional boundaries are really important. People have lives. So if you're doing a 3 o'clock appointment and you say it's going to be over by 4, you need to do that because they're relying on you to watch the clock so they can relax. If you don't do that, then they won't come back, not because your massage was amazing, but it's because they were late picking up their kid from school. So it's really important to do time management. 2, every other complementary medical practitioner that I can think of, if I think about an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or an osteopath, when you go with all great integrity, the first treatment is assessment, and then they say, this is what I can put together for you for treatment plan, and I need you to book on 5, 10, 20 appointments. That is a medical model. That makes sense. That has not been the way that massage therapists have been taught.
No.
And that is what we are teaching massage therapists here, that you need to be working with people to deal with expectations and to get an outcome, which is at least 6 treatments.
Yeah.
So I think that Rachel and I also bring a level of treat yourself with respect, treat your client as a partner in their own healthcare, or organize your time that they realize their expectations are, okay, it's going to take a month to 3 months to do these 6 treatments to deal with a condition I've had for 10 years. That's reasonable.
Yeah. And I mean, just an aside, that is something I wish someone had told me before
Yes,
I
that's
qualified,
true.
that actually massage is a really good treatment for pain, for musculoskeletal pain. It's excellent, and in some cases much better than physio, osteopathy, chiropractic, but also this idea of the 6 treatments, which we've developed as we go along. And I think you're totally right, Derek. I mean, I always say that, and often because of the level of education, I think that massage therapists worldwide are suffering from an inferiority complex. So, as a community, we often feel inferior to other medical professionals, to osteopaths, chiropractors, to medical professionals, and we're not really holding our heads up high, and that is really what we've set out over the last 20 years to address, isn't it, Meg? We're developing a degree level course so that our graduates come out with a degree of confidence, knowing that they can adequately treat musculoskeletal pain within 1 to 6 clinical sessions, and that they really, they're walking their talk.
And
really
anybody can train with us and learn that if their heart is in the place and they want to keep going. And they can feel that they don't have to be the low man on the totem pole, that you're part of like a linear experience of medical model, not something that's a pyramid.
And I remember when I was a baby massage therapist as well, feeling that, I just learned basic relaxation massage, and I just remember, very deeply that visceral feeling of inadequacy, and people come to you, they're in pain, you don't feel equipped to deal with that, so you're giving like extra energy, extra time, everything, and if that person doesn't say it's the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life, you feel like a failure. That's like, so we totally, I always say one of the strengths of to Jing is that there is nothing that you guys haven't been through that me and Meg haven't been through,
Yeah.
you know, on the road, really.
And we'll just clarify this idea. We keep calling ourselves baby massage therapists.
Yeah.
It's not that we're massaging baby. It's that we're at my level. We can do that, but we're at my level, which is the just finished your level 3.
Yeah.
You know, I qualified in July, so we play around with that idea of
Yeah.
a baby massage
New,
therapist.
fresh,
fresh, beautiful,
freshness.
flowering.
While we have you here listening, we have a super quick announcement about our simple to use massage table adhesive repair patch. Here at Massage Warehouse, we understand how important your massage table is to you and how much you try to keep your table protected. Oh! However, accidents can happen. The last thing any therapist wants to see is an unsightly tear, rip, or mark on their table. Not only do these marks look bad, there is a chance that they will grow and cause even more damage to your table. Many therapists think they'll have to replace their entire table. However, we have a solution. Introducing our massage table adhesive repair patches, the simple way to fix tears and prevent further damage to your table. To use the patch, first clean around the area of the tear for any dust or dirt using a dry cloth. Next, peel off the back of the patch. After this, carefully apply the patch over the tear. Finally, smooth around the edges of the repair patch for a perfect application. And your table should be repaired and good to go. Our patches come in 3 different colours: black, navy and cream. We have different size repair patches available, and should you have a uniquely shaped tear on your upholstery, we can create a custom size repair patch for you. Check out our website massagewarehouse.co.uk to see the full range. Now back to the show.
And I think you can help us with there,
Yeah.
because where I'm at is, and I talk to a lot of our students who I would
Yeah.
say are baby massage therapists
Yeah.
are coming and starting on their Jing journey, is money.
Yes.
And Meg, what was it that made you start charging what you were worth? Can you tell us about that? Because we talk to a lot of students that are still, you know, they're
Yeah.
charging £35 an hour. They're trying to afford more training. They're trying to afford
Yeah.
better equipment. They're trying to do new things, work better, smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes down to how much are you charging for a treatment? What was it, if you can remember that far back, that made you think, you know, did you ever have that moment when you were going to back your prices up?
Yeah. So there are 2 things I did.
Yeah.
One, I listened to my teachers. So if you just listen to us, it was fine. So when I went to massage school, they said you need to charge. And that's what we say here. You need to
Yeah.
charge 60, 100, and they made us do the math. It was like, okay, well, if you want to make 30, 40, 50 grand a year,
Did they make you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
how much do you need to charge?
Yeah.
The thing they didn't quite tell us was how long it would take us to build that practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were really sitting there. I remember exactly where I was. the NH National Holistic Institute, NHI, in Oakland, and it was like a pink room, and it was amazing. And they made us do the math, and I remember we just did hundreds because it was easy math. It was like, if you charge 100 per treatment and you do 5 a day, and you do that 4 times a week, that's 5, 10, oh my God, that's $2,000 a week. $2,000 times, oh, that's 8. And you just did it. And it was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So I think, but they said to us, when you start out, maybe charge 75% of what you think. So I think I started out with $60 to $80. And I had some good support around, I had a lot of support around believing in myself. And then sometimes there were empty rooms and like I didn't have a client and I had a wobble, but I knew that if I decreased my price, I would also resent it.
Yeah.
And I learned that. I also, and Rachel and I are both very connected to this, we also do a lot of charity work. And we felt that I wanted to make my charity work very clear and clean and I wanted my massage work to be able to pay me enough that I felt good donating my time. So when I went to massage school, we had to do charitable work. That was part of our education, and it was the 90s in San Francisco. So it was men and living and dying with AIDS, and I did a lot of volunteer work around that. And one of the greatest gifts that people can give as they go is the legacy around how you can help people as they go. And so I learned how massage could change the quality of people's lives, even if it couldn't change the medical condition that was making them sick. So I think I realized then that that money was a true exchange of energy, and it wasn't just between one person. So it was like, if you paid me the $100 and I could pay my rent, then I could donate 10 of my hours to people who couldn't pay me because I was then the space. And so it's not just about that. So I think I had that. And I also do, which we do quite a bit, which we never called it then, manifesting, which is just believing that money will come if and when you work with integrity. And I think it's important for everyone here to know that it's impossible that I'm actually 50 and Rachel's on the edge of the 60. And I in
I'm
particular
not doing my age, by the way.
have never ever taken any money around anything else that isn't massage. So, and I've lived a big life. So it's just about recognizing all of that.
I think that unit of energy, because actually, as you were talking, that sort of like reminded me. So when I first started, a herbalist friend of mine who was quite successful in her practice, she said to me, money is a unit of energy, and if you're not charging enough, you're going to get burnt out and tired. And I think that's really true, because I mean, I know it's 1990, but I started off charging 25 quid. But again, sort of quite quickly learned. And I also think my experience in the States, you know, I started to really value myself then, because massage is charged at such a higher rate then. So that, you know, really helped me to value myself as a professional. And actually, when we came back, it was interesting because we set up, so when we came back to the UK and set up Jing, I was working as a social worker, and Meg was, you had to go to school, didn't you, to get a visa. You had to go and get another degree, a master's, wasn't it?
No, the master's in law.
Just pop that
Just
out.
pop that.
Many things that Meg's got. So I went to rent rooms to do sort of like a part-time practice at 2 different places, which were very similar. They're both run by acupuncturists, big old houses, like, you know, nice practices. And actually the first one that I went to said, oh, we just want you to charge what everybody else is charging, all the other massage therapists. So the osteopaths were charging like 50 quid an hour or something, but they wanted me to charge 30 quid.
28.
Or 20, was it 28? And I said yes.
And pay $12.
And then after a week, I was like, no, I'm not, you know, I'm charging whatever.
Well, I think you went up to 30.
40.
And I think that's really, really relevant now. We've got the cost of living crisis. I know what I was comparing it to the other day was, you know, people had fish and chips delivered. That was 30 quid. And I was like, it costs people more to have fish and chips than some people were offering me from a massage. You know, making that transition between giving out your free massages when you're training, starting to charge a little bit for donations, but then that kind of hike to actually now it's proper time. I don't need to be pretending anymore.
And start high. Like, nobody out there should be charging less than 50 quid. That's like an absolute kind of like bare minimum, you know, in this day and age. And I think it's very hard to put your prices up. I mean, it's another discussion which again we've done more Jing TV on, but once you set your price, it's very hard to then sort of like raise them. So actually go in, once you start charging, go in at a proper rate. And as Meg said, and we have done a Zoominar on this, which I think is on the Jam, we should probably put out as an independent thing at some point, but there is a Zoominar what we've done where, and an article actually which you can find on the Jing blog called, it's a bit outdated because it says how to make 35k a year as a massage therapist and take the summers off. So that's about 20 years ago. So now it's more like 50k, but the maths are the same, where you have to start from what you want to earn per year and then factor in the time that you're going to take off and, you know, what your kind of like costs are. And then from them work out how much you need to charge per massage, because you can only see 20 people per week is a maximum massage therapy practice. So you have to work sort of like backwards rather than randomly setting prices and then being like, oh, I'm too exhausted and I haven't got enough money. Yeah, so.
And we often say, if you can't do it for you, can you do it for us?
The profession.
Because the other thing is we have a lot of people who feel like, well, I don't have to pay for my room, or I've got another person at home who supports me. But you really wouldn't hear that from like a shoe salesman, or, you know, it's like the product is worth what the product is worth, no matter where it's delivered.
Yeah.
So, and you aren't a charity. No. You know, you could do charitable work, but if you decrease your price all the time, then what also breaks our heart is when we hear people saying, I really, really want to be a massage therapist, but I can't make the money, so I'm now going to work at an office or stacking shelves at Tesco or doing their accountancy job. And we've had people who are lawyers who feel really frustrated in their work and they want to be massage therapists. And it's difficult because the income balance is different. But in the end, they're like, I just want to be good at, I want to love what I'm doing.
You have to be who you are. We've got a beginner's course on now, and I was just talking to a couple of the students, you know, in break time. One of them, you know, works in the NHS, one of them works in the NHS, the other one works in social care, and they said, we love the clients, you know, but the institution is grounding us down. We don't feel valued. We're not able to bring our humanity to our work because of the system. We want to be holistic, you know, that we're taught to be holistic, and then we're not able to do this as, you know, part of our profession, and we're just feeling devalued every day. And the point is that, like, you know, you can do massage therapy is such an awesome profession. It's like someone comes in, they're in psychological or physical pain, you help them, you make them feel better. Mysteriously, it also makes you feel better because you're helping people and it feels great, and something about the touch and the mindfulness. And then they give you money. It's like there's nothing uncomplicated. You can be the essence of the great human being and totally congruent with your values in this profession, which is in this day and age is such a privilege. I think humanity and good values are being squeezed out of people in corporate environments, and now unfortunately even in public sector environments.
I think one more thing about the idea of the money, and again that value, is actually the placebo effect of if people are paying £50, £70 for a treatment, that in some way that's what they think they're getting, you know, high quality service. If you're charging £35, then they're not going to value that much. So there's an element of that. Is that right? The placebo effect of what good is this doing me?
Absolutely. Investment.
It's the brand.
We have been every massage therapist, and there are certainly people who called us and said, what are you charging? And they've said, I know this happened with you, and they said, well, I can go down the road and get a 25 quid massage, and we just were like, great, you should do that. And also it's just about, and it's not about being greedy. I feel like people get a bit like, I don't want to charge people they're really ill or they have cancer, and I feel like we aren't taking advantage of people who are not well. If you're doing what you're doing with integrity and work, that you're doing something that makes people feel better. So just about working that out.
Thank you. Right, a couple of quick fire.
Can you do quick fire?
I want to know.
Quick fire, Meg.
Are there any other specific challenges that you've hit that you wished you were better prepared for?
I said, I think there's not, I just wish there were some opportunities that I feel we could take better at the time.
You'd leapt and grabbed
through. Because in the beginning, so much came at us and we didn't really know how to filter.
As Jing.
Can you be specific? What kind of opportunity was that?
What opportunities did this make? You talk about a million things.
We never
why they got away.
But I feel there are some things that we could have been more directive around. So I love every choice we made, but sometimes there are things I think, oh, I wish we could have done. I mean, it's more things like buying a building or building a space or developing a teaching community in which people came, like a teaching clinic. But all of these things are still possible. So it's not like everything's gone, which I also feel that perhaps when those things were around, we just weren't ready for them. And that feels like something.
Can I ask, because with all the success that you've had running Jing, 20 years, you know, everybody thinks it's brilliant. have you ever had any people that thought you should have moved faster, should have been bigger? Do you get that sense as well? You know, maybe take an investment, franchise, open branches.
Every business advisor we have ever asked in here of a certain ilk,
none of them lasted very long.
they all wanted to franchise us. And we're like, why don't you franchise? And that's big business. And I think that we feel very strongly that our heart is in things too much. And we may be criticized about owning too much or having too much control, but I don't know that I would be as happy. So I think it's about my own personal thing. I think that if I came in and things were done in a completely corporate way, or things were McDonaldized, I wouldn't feel as proud of Jing or as part of it. And this is about my life, like how I show up every day. So I like to choose the flowers, or I like to have people around me who choose good flowers, which I do have.
I actually think when I look back, like, I really don't regret anything, because I think that the learning came through doing it, really. And I think we were only ready for each step when we were ready for each step. And I think, you know, we have been cautious. We've never borrowed any money. We've kept ourselves very much at the heart of the business. But I think because we did that, we have really kept, I do truly believe that the essence of Jing is very good and true, in that we really try and provide a space for, you know, where a non-judgmental space, you know, very inclusive space, a very inclusive learning space.
And it's a big thing to, I think,
a very personal space. And I think if we'd followed any sort of trad business models like that, that would have been lost.
And it's a big deal not to have an investment. I think I didn't get that at first, but it was like, Rachel and I never worried ever that anybody was going to take Jing or what, like, it was just us. And it was like, well, if we need to close it tomorrow, we can, and we don't owe anybody anything. And then we took on staff and people when we knew that we could support them through, right? That nobody was a short-term thing. And it is a big deal that we have lots of people who are still involved with Jing over 20 years, and, you know, teachers and stuff and all of that. So no regret.
You know the story about the fisherwoman in the boats, right? Know that one?
I'm not sure. Do we know that?
Do we know that?
Do you want to hear one last story?
One last story. You're like, what's she gonna say?
The Old Testament.
I'm in the Old Testament. You know, so there's some fisherwoman on a, you know, an idyllic kind of like island somewhere, and and you know, this is her day. Every day she goes out a couple of hours in the morning, you know, does a bit of fishing, you know, comes back, hangs out with the kids, you know, is able to feed the kids, you know, sells a little bit of the fish, whatever, you know, but, you know, simple needs, so like really lovely, hangs out with her family. And then some, you know, big business kind of like guy comes to the island, and he's like, oh, this is amazing, this fish you're catching, it's like really unusual, you know, that you could just sort of like sell it, you know, buy, you know, you could buy some more, but, you know, I'll give you some investment, you can buy some more boats, we'll train up some people that go out, they'll, you know, some more, you know, they'll get more fish, you know, you can sell it, you know, I'll help you with that, you know, and then you can basically, you know, make loads of money, and then, you know, in a few years you can retire, and then you can just, you know, go out for a couple of hours every day on your boat and then come back and hang with your kids, and like, you know, so, you know, I do think there's sort of like something in that we've like, you know, you can't separate Jing from us, you know, we are Jing, you know, Jing runs through us, and I think that, you know, all our staff as well, and our students, however long you've been with us, you know, we all, you know, Jing is a family, you know,
and how that relates to, you know, our viewers, our listeners today, or the talk show, in terms of they can be who they want to be.
You can be who you want to be.
Exactly. You don't have to be bigger, grander.
Exactly.
You know, you work with integrity.
Exactly.
And also things people, I'm sure on the phone will say, oh, I can't do marketing because I can't do social media, or I don't want to get on Facebook. And I think it's really also beautiful that in massage you only need, you know, oh no, 20 clients a week.
Yeah.
And if you're seeing those people 6 times, you're only building a practice of 100 people. And I always say to people, if you had to have, you know, if you had a party and you were only allowed to invite 20 people, it would be really tricky, right? So, you know, 20, if it was 50, it's all a bit of an edge. You know, 100 people in your life when you get to a certain space. So just know that building a network of that kind of size is totally doable around massage therapy, and there's lots of ways.
And
to do it.
everyone can do it. There isn't anybody who can't, do it. And if you're not doing it, then come to Jing. We'll help you do that. And massage helps you be who you want to be, and it helps you live the life that you want to live, congruent with your values. So whatever you want to do with it, that's what we're doing. Massage is fitted around everything we've ever wanted to do. In a minute I'm going to go and pick up my daughter. It's like we arrange our schedule. Sun's coming in. We just been to New York. We can take our, we work hard. We can arrange our schedule around our lives, and we've done massage full-time, part-time. We've done teaching. We're writing. We've written a book. Or upside down book. You can do anything that you want to do with this profession, so just do it.
And as a ending to this, because I appreciate we need to wind it down, Rachel and I are good massage therapists. We're pretty good, but more than anything, we're better teachers and mentors. And I think throughout COVID, realizing the massage industry needed what we wanted, so the topic, we need those people before us. And so lots of people asked us to build things like professional associations and take on legislation, and we feel there are better people equipped to do that. And so instead, we've developed something called the JAM, which is the Jing Advanced Massage Mentoring Membership. Because I like a lot. The JAM, and that is a space that people can do a membership with us on a monthly basis. And Rachel and I are showing up on Zoom once a week or twice a month, because you might also get a special guest internationally, where we share our wisdom. And any person from anywhere can get on the JAM as a member and say, I have a question about building my business. I have a question about complicated client. I have a question about moving premises. I have a question about professional integrity or boundaries. And we are there to answer that, because our whole thing is about sharing our journey to make your journeys shorter and sweeter. And so the JAM is really our answer to that. So that's a big thing. If you really want some serious mentorship around how to develop, and you could be in the business 20 years, you could be in business 2 years, you could be starting out, you could be winding down. We do our best to hold the community of the JAM. And we also put out a lot of CPD courses through that. So we have topics around specific conditions like pathologies. We do myofascial cord. We do all of that within the scope of the JAM. So that's been I think that's going to be our legacy. I think that is what we've put out.
Good plug.
Yeah.
Thank you. And brilliant again that the Massage Warehouse are providing the talk shows. You've got 10 seconds, Rachel, if you want to say anything else and add before we share our socials.
All right. Well, just that we'd love to see you. And without a doubt, the best massage therapists are the ones who put the most effort and energy into our ongoing development and training. So the fact that you're watching this means that you're probably one of those kind of 10%. But go on our website. There's a ton of content on there that's all free. There's loads of episodes of Jing TV where me and Meg talk about issues like this that massage therapists face. Only short episodes, 7 minutes long. Ton of articles and blogs, by the book. You can get this from well-known retailers, Massage Fusion, Jing method for the treatment of chronic pain, and come on a course. So we do loads of online courses if you're not near us. The JAM obviously is the best value investment for only $29.99 a month. Come on and get a load of content.
One more thing.
Come on a hands-on course. Me and Meg teach a 3-day foundation. Next one's December, one after that is February. So just come and see us.
That's a good check. Now you can also join the Jing Hub. We're on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. Meg, do you know where they can find us on Instagram?
No.
At Jing Massage. And we're even on the TikTok as well. You can find us at Jing Massage there too.
All right.
Be you and be beautiful.
Jing love you all. Oh, we forgot.
You have to subscribe.
There's probably a button there.
Press the button. Subscribe. There'll be more people like us with more wisdom that'll keep you informed, and it is amazing.
And you go to support Massage Warehouse. It's great. And get all your stuff from them because it's great.
The Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show. We discuss the talking points that matter to you, the therapist. A lot of work goes into creating the talk shows, and we'd be very grateful if you can choose Massage Warehouse when shopping for massage supplies so we can continue to create these amazing podcasts. Massage Warehouse is your one-stop shop for massage supplies and does great work supporting our wonderful community. Until next time,